The words slipped out of her mouth like a quiet confession, but they carried years of pain behind them. Rachel Parker didn't even look up when she said it. Her eyes stayed fixed on the coffee cup in her trembling hands as she whispered that men don't like single moms. It wasn't said with anger or bitterness. It was said with acceptance, the kind that comes after being disappointed too many times. But what happened next, the way Jonathan Reed reacted, completely shattered everything she thought she knew. Before we go further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that remind us love still exists in unexpected places, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps keep stories like this alive. It was a quiet evening in a small café tucked away in a busy corner of Chicago. Outside, the city buzzed with its usual energy, but inside, everything felt slower, almost suspended in time. Rachel sat alone at a corner table, her shoulders slightly hunched, her posture carrying the invisible weight of responsibility and exhaustion. Across from her sat Jonathan, a man who looked calm and composed, yet deeply attentive, as if he was listening not just to her words but to everything she wasn't saying. Rachel hadn't always been this guarded. There was a time when she believed in love without hesitation. A time when she thought life would follow a simple path. Marriage, family, happiness. But life had taken a sharp turn when her husband walked away shortly after their son, Ethan, was born. No explanations that made sense. No closure that felt real. Just silence and a long road of raising a child alone. Over the years, she had learned to be everything at once, a mother, a provider, a protector. She worked long shifts at a hospital as a nurse, often coming home exhausted, only to find her little boy waiting for her with sleepy eyes and a smile that somehow made everything worth it. But beneath that strength was a quiet loneliness she rarely allowed herself to acknowledge. And then came Jonathan. He had walked into her life in the most ordinary way. A chance meeting at the hospital where he had come to visit a colleague. Their first conversation was simple, almost forgettable. But there was something about the way he spoke, the way he listened, that made Rachel feel seen in a way she hadn't in years. Still, she kept her distance. Because experience had taught her one thing: hope can be dangerous. That evening at the cafe was supposed to be just another casual meeting. Nothing serious. Nothing meaningful. But something shifted when Jonathan gently asked her about her life, not out of curiosity, but out of genuine care. And for the first time in a long time, Rachel found herself opening up. She spoke about Ethan, about the struggles, about the nights when fear kept her awake, wondering if she was doing enough, being enough. And then, almost without realizing it, she said those words, that men don't like single moms. The silence that followed felt heavy. But it wasn't the kind of silence she expected. Jonathan didn't laugh. He didn't look uncomfortable. He didn't try to change the subject. Instead, he leaned back slightly, his expression thoughtful, as if he was processing something important. And then, in the calmest, most unexpected way, he responded, not with rejection, but with something Rachel hadn't prepared herself for. He told her that maybe the problem wasn't that men don't like single moms. Maybe the problem was that the wrong men don't understand their strength. He didn't try to fix her life. He simply became a part of it. And slowly, Rachel began to understand something she had never fully believed before, that love doesn't come in perfect conditions. It comes in messy, complicated moments. It comes when you least expect it. And sometimes, it comes in the form of someone who sees your struggles not as baggage, but as part of your strength. If you've made it this far, take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever felt like your past made you less worthy of love? Your story might inspire someone who needs it today. One evening, months later, Rachel found herself back in that same cafe. But this time, everything felt different. She wasn't sitting there with guarded hesitation. She wasn't hiding behind fear. She was present. Jonathan sat across from her again, but now there was a quiet understanding between them. No pressure. No expectations. Just something real. And in that moment, Rachel realized that the belief she had held onto for so long, that men don't like single moms, was never the truth. It was just the result of the wrong experiences. Because the right person doesn't see your past as a limitation. They see it as a story worth being part of. As the night came to an end, Rachel looked at Jonathan, her eyes filled with a mixture of gratitude and quiet realization. Life hadn't suddenly become perfect. There were still challenges, still uncertainties. But for the first time in years, she wasn't facing them alone. And that made all the difference. Before you go, if this story touched your heart even a little, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with someone who might need this message today. And subscribe for more stories that remind us that love often finds us when we stop believing we deserve it. Because sometimes, the words that break us are the same words that lead us to something beautiful when someone finally proves them wrong.